And um, I thank uh, who helped me to try to improve a little the setting, even if probably the result is not enough good. Step by step. Anyway, this video will be about my biases, because if you will interested to have some hints of dialogue with me, I think it's honest that I just expose my frame that I am aware of, so you can just take in account that whatever I say is it's limited or filtered by my angle, point of view, of course, a lot more than what I am aware of, but at least I have 50 and something year old, so I was born in Italy, in Rome, and lived in Rome and Milan. Lived mainly in Italy, so I was young during the 17 and 80s, and then growing. I am white male, so I think that today they say cisgender, even if I had quite a few experience in my life, but I came from a creative artist hippie family, from I think mid low class, with some economical struggle during my struggle, and then during the 80s my family entered in a different bourgeois middle class, healthy, nothing fancy, but a little more stable, with some securities and some consumerism during the 80s and the 19. So I flew through this middle class, and working some less than 2 years on total as an employee, and then some experience of failing entrepreneurship, yeah, and then as autonomous designer, never doing money, real money, of course, just having a bike in a garage. That was very super luxury. That was for me pure hedonism. And then I receive inheritance, a little inheritance, but that for me was 6 times what I had in my account, so I was free to make a little investment in a little house in Spain, and then reform a little, so having some work on my a little garden, hands, and making walls all a little band because it was not my piece of cake. Uh, I studied and I have a degree in philosophy on the Catholic University because I was a strong uh, believer. I was feeling the presence of Jesus as an invisible person uh, near me, near. So I had the experience of believe in in a present, in a presence, in a spiritual presence, and I lost I lost my faith as, as at the keys. I lost my kids. I lost my faith. I I studied. I read a lot, in particular Nietzsche. It uh, was quite traumatic. So my losing of faith was full of pain, and discovering mm, that I have to die, to not exist anymore, was giving me panic attacks for in the night for a year or maybe two, and was then I just my ego was just accepting the idea that for whatever reason the universe was not so kind with me to give me immortality. So so then I entered in a relativistical phase of thinking, relativistical, hedonistical. I did some experience with we are in YouTube, so with some substances that you can use to fly away, right? Anyway, and lately I am in the middle of a process of changing again my view of the world, or at least a shift on my view of the world. So I am in the middle of a philosophical crisis. I took psychopharmacs, of course, therapy. I was really Freudian when I was Nietzschean. I was Nietzschean, Marxist, and Freudian. That was the anti-trinity, so to speak, from a strong Catholic Christian belief to some sort of opposition, right? Now I am in a position that is skeptical, agnostic, but with a tendency towards materialism, or a particular form of materialism that is called physicism, and a monistical physicism, so a little reductionism. I have this tendency, but I am in the middle of the process, so of course my values are democracy, for utilitarianism, so due to the fact that I am part of the majority of population, of the normal people, it's in my interest sustaining a society that is based on human rights. It's peaceful and with just the freedom that you can have if you do not harm anybody else. So that's quite. I have sympathy also for Kant, Bertrand Russell. It's a philosopher that I admire. And that's it. I think that if you take in account these points, the late communism, the late socialism and communism, uh, in in the political atmosphere, and on a side, then the other side, from a moderate right from some parents. So this is more or less the climate where I grew my ideas. So take that in account. Eh, and I think that this is exactly why we have to read, talk, share, and dialogue, because that's the only way to grasp a little what can be living outside of us, in different lives. That's the best that we can do. So help me whenever you want, of course, to point out when I inadvertently dismiss something, or just don't consider the perspective that that maybe it's because uh, was out is out of my frame, my my frame